In this crazy busy world we live in, it's so easy to fall into a strange kind of trap. We spend all day looking at our screens, at our to-do lists, at the people around us, but how often are we truly seeing what's right there in front of us?
And that's a real question, something to really sit with for a moment. When our focus gets so narrow, just on getting things done, our perspective can get, well, a little warped. We start to miss the details, the nuances, the deeper stuff that's happening just beneath the surface. So how do we fix that? How do we get a fresh pair of eyes? Well, one really powerful way is through a practice called critical friendship. It's this idea of a collaborative relationship that's specifically designed to raise our awareness and help us see ourselves and our work in a much clearer light.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. Critical friendship sounds kind of like an oxymoron, right? How can you be critical and a friend at the same time? But here's the thing. This isn't about judgment at all. It's about having a trusted person in your corner, an advocate who really takes the time to get you and helps you learn through conversation. It's a shared promise to help each other grow.
Okay, so in the real world, these kinds of conversations can be, well, messy. They're unpredictable. But there is a helpful model, a kind of blueprint that shows us how they can unfold in a really constructive way.
Just take a look at the flow here. It is absolutely not a one-way street. You've got person A bringing up an issue, but person B's job isn't to just jump in with a solution. Nope. Their first job is to understand and then offer some interpretations. It's this dynamic back and forth, and you'll see it always ends with both people reflecting on it.
So if we break it down, it goes something like this. One person says, "Hey, here's what's going on. Can you help me think through it?" The other person doesn't give advice. They ask questions to dig a little deeper. Then the first person clarifies, "Okay, here's what I'm hoping to get from this." Then the friend offers their take. And crucially, they both wrap up by thinking about what they learned.
But look, theory is one thing. Practice is where it gets really interesting. To see what this actually looks like in action, let's follow two hikers, Elena and Marcus, on their journey across the Camino de Santiago in Spain. Their conversations are just a beautiful illustration of how this whole thing works.
So their first big dialogue starts with Elena feeling a bit conflicted. She's super efficient on the trail, always walking fast and getting ahead, but she starts to get this nagging feeling that her speed is causing her to miss the whole point of the journey.
So Elena lays out her habit. And notice what Marcus does. He doesn't give advice. He just asks these gentle, clarifying questions. He helps her connect the dots between her physical pace and her emotional state. And together, they realize she's basically walking fast to outrun difficult feelings. The insight isn't given by Marcus, it's discovered by Elena, all because his questions unlocked it for her.
But then, later on the journey, the tables turn. Now it's Marcus who feels like he's hit a wall. The initial excitement of the walk is totally worn off, and it's all starting to feel, well, mechanical. He's feeling detached and is worried that he's lost the plot, emotionally speaking.
And you can see their dynamic has evolved. Elena doesn't try to fix his boredom. Instead, she helps him reinterpret it. She suggests that maybe this plateau isn't a problem to be solved, but a natural part of the journey, an invitation to find meaning not in something new and exciting, but in being fully present with the ordinary.
As they keep walking, something really fundamental starts to shift in their conversations. They move beyond the sort of structured, problem-solving mode and into something more like a shared, flowing inquiry into their whole experience.
Their third dialogue is totally different. There's no formal request for feedback, it's just a shared reflection, talking about what it feels like to slow down, to run out of things to chase. They're not trying to get anywhere with the conversation. They're just in it, together.
And this leads Marcus to this beautiful realization that just perfectly captures the whole spirit of a critical friendship. It's not about leading. It's not about fixing. It's about companionship. It's about walking alongside someone without feeling the need to direct their path.
So when they finally reach the big cathedral square in Santiago, it's not this huge, triumphant moment you might expect. Instead, it's this quiet sense of acceptance. They realize the journey was never really about the destination. It was about how they learned to walk, both on the trail and with each other in conversation.
Okay, so the story of Elena and Marcus is a fantastic example. But how do we actually apply this in our own lives? Well, there are a few really foundational principles that make this kind of supportive dialogue possible.
This right here, this might be the most crucial part to get right. We have to understand the difference between critique and criticism. Helpful critique is always about the task, never the person. It describes what it sees, it doesn't tell you what to do. The whole point is to help someone make their idea better, not to shove it aside for yours. Personal criticism, it does the exact opposite, and it just shuts down collaboration completely.
So what does it actually take to be a good critical friend? Well, you don't need to be an expert in whatever your friend is doing. What truly matters are these fundamental human qualities. It's about listening, really listening. It's about observing, questioning with respect, and just showing a genuine commitment to helping them grow.
Because ultimately, this practice isn't about having all the answers. It's not about putting on a performance of how wise you are for someone else. It's about recognizing that we all have blind spots. It's about the humility and the trust it takes to go on a shared walk toward understanding together.
And that really brings us to our final thought. The true value of any journey isn't just the destination, but the companionship you find along the way. So it's worth asking yourself, who walks alongside you? And how much you both learn to listen and to see just a little bit better.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video on critical friendship, you might like to read the extended version, complete with bonus audio, on my Substack newsletter, Walk, Hike, Learn. It's free to access. All you need to do is to scan this QR code or click the link in the description below. I'll see you there. Bye.